everyone. Welcome back to Routine English Podcast.
We're so glad you could join us today. We have a great show lined up.
Welcome back to the Unwritten Rules, where we dissect the beautiful awkwardness of human interaction. Alex, let me hit you with something right now.
Hit me, I have my skepticism shield ready.
Okay. When was the last time, truthfully, you asked a complete stranger for directions rather than just pulling out your phone?
Oh wow, that's a highly specific question, probably 2013, when I was in rural Ireland and my roaming data died.
Exactly. Because we view asking for directions not just as a failure of planning, but as a total social surrender. And yet, I believe this simple act holds the key to unlocking true urban connection.
A social surrender? That's a little dramatic, Sophia. It's a transaction. I need data, they provide data, now it's just technology providing data. Why complicate it?
Because the very moment you open your mouth to ask for help, you are intentionally making yourself vulnerable. You are breaking the fourth wall of the public sphere. And that's terrifying, which is why we avoid it.
I think you're romanticizing inconvenience. My phone gives me turn-by-turn navigation, traffic updates, and the precise name of the artisan bakery I'm looking for. What does a random person give me? Go down 2 blocks, take a left at the big tree.
They give you context. They give you the local narrative. The big tree is called the wishing oak, and they can tell you the history of why that left turn is sketchy after dark. Google Maps is sterile, Alex. Human direction is rich.
Rich, perhaps, but inefficient. We live in an era defined by efficiency. Why would I risk getting lost based on someone's subjective memory when I have satellite precision in my pocket?
But the risk is the reward. Think about the micro-interaction itself. You select your target, the person who looks approachable, not busy, maybe wearing something that hints at them being local.
Target selection. Fascinating. So we're back to behavioral economics, even in a simple request.
Of course, the initial approach, excuse me, I know this sounds silly, but I seem to be completely turned around. Note the inclusion of the preemptive self-deprecation. That lowers their guard.
Self-deprecation as a conversational lubricant, I see. But the exchange is always asymmetrical. One person needs, the other provides. That puts an inherent power imbalance into the interaction.
But that imbalance quickly dissolves into mutual acknowledgement. For that 30 seconds, you are both engaged in a shared reality. They get to be the expert, the guide. That boosts their ego. It's a small, pleasant break in their day.
Or they get annoyed because I've interrupted their phone call or their power walk. That's the reality I usually encounter when I try to engage people on the street.
That's why the language matters. You can't just bark, "Where is the station?" You frame it as a puzzle you need help solving. I'm trying to find my way back to the main square. Is there a shortcut I'm missing?
Okay, let's debate the cost. The cost of asking is vulnerability, potential rejection, and possible bad directions. The cost of using GPS is battery life and perhaps missing some incidental beauty along the way. I still lean toward GPS.
But you miss the happy accident of connection. I once asked an elderly gentleman for directions in Florence, and he ended up walking me 3 blocks, pointing out the best gelato shop and teaching me 5 words in Italian.
That's lovely, Sophia, truly. But that's the exception, not the rule. The rule is rushed, slightly awkward help, followed by a quick retreat back into our isolated bubble.
And why is the bubble the default? Why is it considered normal to prioritize isolation over interaction? The refusal to ask for directions is a symptom of a larger societal trend, the fear of imposing.
It's not fear of imposing, it's respecting boundaries. We are busy, they are busy. GPS respects both our time constraints. It's the ultimate non-intrusive solution.
But is efficiency the highest human good? I argue that occasional inefficiency, the required human friction, is what keeps us connected. We are built for collaboration, Alex, not autonomous navigation.
Fine. Let's look at the mechanics of spatial reasoning. When someone gives you verbal directions, you are forced to process spatial data in real time, building a cognitive map. GPS just turns you into a passenger in your own movement.
Exactly. The mental effort required strengthens your connection to the physical space. You don't just know the route, you own the route. You remember the landmarks, the smells, the feeling of the pavement.
But the person giving the direction often uses landmarks that are impermanent, subjective, or outdated. Turn left at the old video rental shop. That shop closed 6 years ago. Now what?
Then you smile, thank them anyway, and ask the next person. That's iteration. That's the messy process of collective navigation. You gather conflicting data points and synthesize the truth.
Synthesizing truth while lost and sweating. I'd rather have the single objective data point.
Your insistence on objectivity strips the journey of its narrative potential. The best stories start with, I was completely lost, and then.
The worst stories start with, I was completely lost because I trusted the guy who looked like he knew the area but was actually confused.
That's fair, but here's the unexpected benefit. Asking for directions makes us look more engaged and, surprisingly, more trustworthy.
Trustworthy. How does looking confused make me trustworthy?
Because it's a signal of non-threat. You are admitting a weakness, a lack of power in that specific environment. A mugger doesn't usually stop and ask, "Excuse me, where's the nearest exit?"
That's a very good point. The vulnerability acts as a shield against suspicion. You are instantly categorized as a harmless tourist or traveler.
Precisely. It temporarily suspends the inherent guardedness we hold toward strangers.
So, asking for directions is not just seeking geographical information, but seeking temporary social acceptance.
Absolutely. It's an icebreaker that doesn't feel forced. It serves an immediate practical purpose while simultaneously achieving a deeper social one.
Let's talk about the cultural variables. In some cultures, stopping a stranger is a massive imposition, seen as extremely rude. GPS usage eliminates this risk entirely.
A crucial point. The level of permissible imposition varies wildly. In places with high social distance indices, asking directions requires greater nonverbal signaling, a more open posture, slower approach.
And in extremely dense, fast-moving urban environments like Tokyo or Manhattan, the social cost of stopping someone mid-stride is astronomical.
Which is why the art is knowing who to ask. The older person sitting on a bench, the person waiting for a bus, the shop owner leaning in the doorway. You target the available social capital.
Okay, I'm starting to see this less as a practical matter and more as an exercise in subtle social engineering.
It is. It's an analog social network connection, right there on the pavement. Now here's the twist I promised.
The twist, lay it on me.
Twist. Did you know that studies in cognitive science have shown that the physical act of pointing, the universal gesture associated with giving directions, releases oxytocin in both the giver and the receiver?
Wait, the cuddle hormone? Just by pointing?
Yes, because the act of pointing is fundamentally collaborative. It's a shared spatial focus aimed at solving a common problem. It's a primal form of cooperation. The brief connection literally chemically bonds you.
That is genuinely shocking. So that fleeting moment of interaction, the go that way, isn't just behavioral, it's neurochemical. You are making the stranger feel good on a molecular level.
It's a microdose of human kindness. The giver experiences the satisfaction of utility. The receiver experiences the comfort of guidance. And both get a tiny splash of trust hormone.
So by defaulting to GPS, we aren't just missing a chat. We are actively suppressing opportunities for neurochemical bonding in our communities.
Precisely. We are choosing sterility over shared serotonin. We are replacing the warmth of human connection with the cold, efficient voice of Siri.
This reframes everything. I always saw the interaction as a necessary friction point. You see it as an essential lubricant for civic society.
Because every time you choose to ask, you are casting a vote for a more connected world. You are actively choosing to participate in the village rather than just observe it.
I'll admit the oxytocin angle is compelling. It elevates the simple act of asking for directions from mere navigation to subtle psychological maintenance.
Think of it as urban acupuncture, tiny points of contact that release positive energy into the system. It breaks the pervasive "don't talk to strangers" mandate.
So the next time I'm slightly lost, I should intentionally pocket the phone and engage with the environment and the people in it.
Yes, choose human intelligence over artificial intelligence, just for a moment. Embrace the glorious risk of subjective, potentially incorrect, but undeniably human guidance.
And receive a free oxytocin shot in the process. Not a bad trade-off.
Conclusion. So here's our challenge for the week. The next time you are within a 2-block radius of your destination, turn off the GPS. Look up. Find a human. Ask the ancient question.
Ask them where the hell you are, and in doing so, maybe find out a little bit more about who they are.
Because getting lost sometimes means finding something far more valuable than the right street. It means finding connection. Thank you for joining us on the Unwritten Rules.
We'll see you next time, and don't forget to look around.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time on the Routine English Podcast.